At midnight, the story begins in a hospital. A boy lies in bed as the autumn leaves wither outside. A petal drifts through the window, and it lands on his face, waking him suddenly. Breathing heavily, he looks around in confusion, unsure of where he is. It soon becomes clear that this boy has been reincarnated. He pulls off the bedsheet to check his legs, but they're gone, only stumps remain. Anger fills him as he wonders what time it is. Then his sister bursts into the room, crying with relief that he's awake. She hugs him tightly and promises to find the driver who ran him over. She's certain that once she finds that person, his legs can be healed. The boy realizes he has gone back 1 year in time, to the day of the car accident that changed everything. Back then, he had been a young, successful businessman before being struck by a car and thrown through the air, ending his rise to wealth and power. A girl had rushed to save him, but since then, he'd been confined to a wheelchair, and his misfortunes had only grown. A man enters the hospital room and greets him. The boy calls him by name, Tiankai. This man was someone he once trusted deeply, almost like a brother. But in truth, Tiankai betrayed him. When the boy was weak and recovering, Tiankai took over the international company he had built and forced his sister into marriage. He claimed he would take care of her and cover the hospital bills if she agreed, using her desperation to his advantage. Though a family friend, he was no blood relative, just a manipulative man who wanted everything. When the boy tried to stop him, he was too helpless to fight back. Tiankai mocked him cruelly and kissed his sister in front of him, saying he couldn't understand why weak people made so much noise. The girl could only cry in despair as he destroyed their lives. Later, a new virtual reality game called Divine Path appeared, known for its perfect realism, and soon its in-game currency became valuable in the real world. However, something unexpected happened. The game's attributes began to affect reality itself. This could have been the boy's chance for revenge, but he had no money or resources. He couldn't afford to join early or level up quickly, and stronger players constantly defeated him. Meanwhile, Tiankai used stolen company money to buy the best gear, forming a powerful guild and becoming unstoppable. Yet the boy knew all of it should have been his. Eventually, the two met again. In his home, the boy surrounded himself with explosives, but Tiankai mocked him, saying something like that couldn't kill him. But the boy said at least they'd die together. He pressed the detonator, and the house exploded. The boy's determination was absolute. His legs and arms were gone, but Tiankai stood there afterward, completely unharmed. He explained that his game attributes made him invincible. Then he revealed something even worse. He had orchestrated the car accident and the death of the boy's parents. He even bragged that he would soon have a child with the boy's sister, meaning their family's bloodline would carry Tiankai's name. Powerless under his foot, the boy swore in his heart that he would never forgive him. Back in the present, he still doesn't know why he was reincarnated, but he tells his sister not to cry. This time, he promises to protect her and restore everything their family lost, and to take revenge on Tiankai. Unfortunately, his reincarnation happened after the accident, so his legs are still gone. His only chance lies in the upcoming release of Divine Path, which he knows will take about a month before people discover that the game's powers affect reality, giving him a window to change fate. He tells his sister not to worry and asks for something urgent, a gaming station for the new game. She's puzzled, but before she can respond, Tiankai enters, pretending to be concerned. He warns the boy not to get addicted to games, reminding him about the company that needs management. The boy quickly realizes he's being mocked, but he replies calmly that since he's disabled, gaming is all he can do now. Tiankai smiles slyly. He mentions that Divine Path is expensive. Only 100 game units will exist at launch, each costing more than 300 million. The boy tells him that all the company's money is his, and even if it cost 30 billion, he'd buy one. His sister tries to calm him down, but Tiankai agrees to buy one, pretending to do it out of kindness. Secretly, he's thrilled. The more time the boy wastes playing, the easier it will be to take full control of the company. He grabs the sister and tries to drag her away, but the main character pulls her close and calmly says that she'll be spending her time with him now. Alone, the boy swears that he won't let Tiankai harm his sister. Outside, Tiankai curses under his breath, angry that his earlier assassination attempt failed. He vows to bring heavier weapons next time. Inside, the boy tells his sister to transfer all company funds into the in-game currency and to sell all shares immediately. She's shocked and thinks he's gone mad, but he assures her he has a plan to save their future. 3 hours later, the gaming setup is installed in his room. He's quick and determined. Entering the game, he finds himself standing. At least in the virtual world, he has legs again. The feeling of walking freely fills him with joy. He creates his character, naming it Jeju Wanji, and chooses the Ranger class, the same one he used in his past life. As a VIP player, he receives an elven bloodline that matches his class, plus a special reward book that gives him a skill to detect weak points. Everything feels just like before. As one of the first 100 players, he also receives a special treasure chest containing a rare talent. It costs 50 million gold coins, about $7 million. Without hesitation, he invests the company's money, knowing that real money will soon lose value while in-game assets grow stronger. He adds 500 million gold coins to his account and opens the chest. A golden light bursts out, revealing a talent of evolution, an ability that can upgrade anything. Even in his past life, he had never seen something this powerful. A giant light appears, and the system confirms that the talent has been activated. The boy is amazed. This power shouldn't even be possible to obtain so early. He examines its description. Any item he acquires from monsters will automatically be 1 rank higher, with a small chance to be 2 ranks higher. He also gains an active skill usable once per day that upgrades an item by 2 levels, or 3 with a small chance. Although this talent doesn't increase his personal stats, it gives him an enormous advantage. As he raises his arms, a gauntlet forms, symbolizing his determination to change his fate. While others will be using weak bronze gear, he'll already be equipped with silver. He prepares to begin his journey. Clicking on the game interface, he enters the world of Divine Path, ready to start over. He appears in the starting village, surprised to see so many rich players already there. Many are busy chasing chickens to level up. He considers this pointless. Instead, he plans to defeat the starting boss and claim the first kill reward. Ignoring the system's warning about dangerous areas, he decides to move toward the wild zones. Checking his inventory, he's disappointed to see only a beginner's bow and simple cloth armor. They're not worth upgrading. Then he remembers that his evolution skill also works on bloodlines. He uses it on his elven bloodline, and the system upgrades it to royal elf bloodline. His speed, accuracy, and critical strike power increase dramatically. With these stats, he can now handle solo combat easily. Nearby, he hears wolves howling. Peering from behind a tree, he spots a group of players hunting level 2 forest wolves. They're smart, teaming up to fight stronger monsters, but they underestimate the game's realism. When more wolves appear and surround them, panic spreads. The players scream as the wolves attack, feeling real pain before dying one by one. When the last of them falls, the boy takes his chance. He fires a precise arrow into a wolf's head, killing it instantly. His level rises from 1 to 2, and he gains health-restoring wolf meat and new attribute points. The other wolves notice him and charge, but he quickly activates his elven passive ability, doubling his speed. He runs toward a cliff, leaping across ledges until the wolves can't follow. The combination of his class and bloodline is perfect for survival. However, as he moves forward, he realizes the wolves have stopped chasing him. They stand still, staring nervously. Checking his map, he learns he has entered the Buffalo Zone, a higher-level area with level 5 monsters. The wolves retreat in fear. Suddenly, a group of players approaches and asks if he wants to join them in hunting buffalo. They seem suspicious, especially the girl who keeps flattering him. The mage in their group points out that he's only level 2 and might slow them down. The boy doesn't argue and simply says he prefers to fight alone. They warn him that dying in the game has painful consequences: loss of gold, damaged gear, and loss of half the experience gained. He thanks them for the advice, but goes his own way. The girl suggests helping him, but the mage refuses, saying it's pointless to save a fool who wants to die. Ignoring them, the boy continues deeper into the wild. After some time, he finds a cave with a skeleton lying at the entrance. He knows he's found what he was looking for, the lair of the strongest boss in the starting zone. Inside the cave, the stone wall trembles, and a huge creature opens its eyes. The boy faces a level 10 giant king snake. He activates his weakness detection skill, and a marker appears on the snake. The snake has 800 health points. The boy has 1,310 health points. At level 2, he should have about 200, but his royal elf bloodline adds 1,000 more, so he is not afraid. The snake lunges. He dodges, knocks an arrow, and fires. The first arrow hits, but only deals 29 damage. A boss is still a boss. He avoids another bite thanks to his speed. but he keeps testing openings while the snake guards its neck with its tail. He fires a flurry, but the tail blocks everything. At last he slips an arrow through and deals 58 damage. It will take time, but he is faster. Then the snake inhales deeply. Poison smoke fills the cave and drains 10 health points each second. Time is now a problem. The snake climbs to the ceiling, making shots harder. The boy refuses to back down. He adjusts his aim and lands a clean neck shot for 116 damage. Every third hit is a critical, so the boss slams to the ground. The boy presses the advantage. Soon the snake is down to 597 health points. Even while losing 10 health points each second, he believes he can win. His own health drops to 1010. The snake changes tactics, whipping its tail to shut down his attacks. He keeps slipping away and looses another arrow, landing 200 critical damage. He notices something odd. The belly seems to take even higher numbers, though the neck is the instant kill weak point. He prepares to exploit it. The snake seems to smirk. It smashes the floor. A crack races toward him and the ground shifts. He loses sight of the body. The poison rate doubles to 20 health points each second, and his health falls to 600. This boss is clearly designed for a party, with poison and terrain tricks to punish solo players, and at this pace he will not last. He pulls out wolf meat. It restores 20 health points each second for 20 seconds. It will not fully counter the poison, but it will buy time. He starts a desperate climb, jumping from ledge to ledge. Those 20 seconds will decide everything. He reaches a perch above the boss, draws, and strikes the eye. The snake thrashes and crashes down. As it tries to slither away, he targets the exposed nape and hits again. Terrified, the boss turns just as he readies another elven arrow. He fires repeatedly. The final shot drills through its body, deals 200 damage, and bursts out of its mouth. The health bar drops to 0. The poison fades. The system prepares to announce the first boss kill to the entire server and asks if he wants to hide his name. He decides he has hidden long enough and tells it to reveal him. The server congratulates player Jeju Wanji for defeating the starter zone boss. In the beginner village, players are stunned. Veterans cannot understand how someone cleared a boss at launch. Elsewhere, the blue-haired group is exhausted after killing one buffalo. They think it was a super boss and wait for a grand reward. The chubby player is excited. The other two daydream about impressing women. Then the system message appears for them as well. Jeju Wanji has earned 1,000 reputation points and a silver chest. They cannot believe someone is stronger than they are on day 1. The boy's experience surges from level 2 to level 7. He receives 30 attribute points and dumps all of them into agility. For his class, agility also raises damage, so it fits perfectly. Now it is time to check the loot. Something unexpected happens. The 10 silvers the boss should have dropped become 10 gold coins. Other players who down a buffalo get only a copper coin. One item in his bag glows with a golden light. He wonders if it is a second evolution, but it is actually a crystal coin. The crystal coin is a rare currency long thought extinct. It can pay for mysterious goods from certain non-player characters. He had heard rumors in his past life, but had never seen one. He gathers the rest of the drops and inspects his backpack. He has a silver rank snake sword. It is useless for an archer, but it will sell. He also gets silver scale armor that grants a 300 health point shield with a 300-second cooldown. He remembers this armor usually has no special effect, so his evolution talent must be enhancing item stats. The problem, both pieces require level 10. He recalls the silver reputation chest from the first kill achievement and opens it, hopping for something he can actually use. He receives the legendary arrow rain skill, a powerful aerial barrage that suits his build perfectly. It also requires level 10. He is a bit frustrated, but he knows he will become much stronger once he reaches that level. A voice echoes deeper in the cave. Someone asks for help. He investigates and finds a healthy-looking girl named Miss Gu, who says she hid here to escape the snake. He recognizes her as a famous quest giver with secret missions. He explains the boss is dead, but she shows an injured foot and asks to be carried. He blushes despite his usual cold planning and carries her outside. In the light, she thanks him warmly and promises to take good care of him the next time they meet. He freezes at the hint and puts her down, asking what she really means. She suggests she has little to offer unless he wants her body, then teases him. He cuts her off and makes it clear that is not what he wants. She laughs and notes that he seems to know about her test. She pulls a blade from a gap in the rocks and offers a bronze dagger as a reward. He bats it aside and demands the real prize. She pretends confusion. He states the secret he wants, the quest to save the 14-year-old girl who lives nearby. She is surprised he already knows about that mission, then agrees. She says she will grant the secret class quest if that is his choice. She rises slowly while he stands with arms crossed, urging her to hurry. She begins a forbidden ritual dance, a step to the left, a sway to the right, the kind of performance banned in 27 countries. It is clear this woman is dangerous, and something unexpected is about to happen. A glowing magic circle appears under the boy's feet. The woman warns him that the secret class trial is about to begin and that he must pass to earn the class. He thanks her, but she tells him not to be so confident. Confused, he looks at the system screen and is shocked. It's the Shadow Hunter mission, marked with red difficulty. Failure means permanent disqualification. He panics and tells her to stop, explaining that he's only level 7 and can't risk permanent failure. But she smiles darkly and tells him this is the end for him. Her favorability with him drops to 0. He realizes he triggered the quest the wrong way. He was supposed to increase her affection first. She forced him into the test before he was ready. As he's pulled into the portal, he vows that when he returns, he'll find her and her daughter and end them both. Moments later, the sky above another land glows, and he's teleported into a vast desert. The system announces that the test has begun. This is his one chance, so he must give it everything. Suddenly, he hears rumbling nearby. Strange teeth-like structures emerge from the sand, 4 of them, forming a circle around him. Realizing too late that he's inside a monster's range, he jumps away as a gigantic creature bursts from the ground to swallow him whole. Activating weakness detection, he sees the weak point inside its mouth. It's a level 5 elite sandworm with 2,000 health points. The level isn't high, but its massive health makes it dangerous. He fires an arrow, hitting for 130 damage. The worm can barely move while above the surface, which gives him an advantage. It rears up and slams down, shaking the ground so hard he realizes one mistake could bury him alive. Hearing more movement, he guesses the creature is circling underground. He needs higher ground to see its attacks better. Spotting a tall stone pillar nearby, he runs toward it. Just before reaching it, the sand explodes again. He was expecting it, so he dodges back and fires twice, one arrow for 260 damage, the other for 130. The creature is disgusting, but if he keeps dodging, he'll win. Then the worm spits sand at him midair. He shields his eyes but still loses 50 health. His vision blurs, and his accuracy drops by 30%. He crashes to the ground, cursing. With his sight blurred, he wipes his eyes and senses movement behind him. Rolling aside, he barely avoids being crushed. At least now he's at the pillar's base, able to recover. The worm dives underground again, but he's no longer afraid. It has plenty of health, but a predictable pattern. After 10 seconds, the blindness fades, and he can see clearly again. Confident, he draws his bow, ready for the next attack. The ground shakes, the worm charges upward. Shen King leaps onto the pillar and taunts it. The monster spits sand again, but from this position, he easily dodges and fires another arrow, landing a clean 260 damage. He laughs to himself, wondering if it only knows 2 moves. If so, he'll end this now. He jumps down, timing it perfectly. As the worm's mouth opens, he dives inside, dodges its bite, and releases 3 quick arrows. Preparing the final strike, he lets one more fly, 130 damage, and the creature collapses. He reaches level 8, earning 10 silver coins and a pair of desert boots that boost movement on sand. He calls the reward worthless. A monster that huge should drop something better. Then he notices one of the markings on the pillar glowing. Looking closer, he sees there are 9 identical symbols, and only the first one is lit. More sandworms start to appear, and he realizes the truth. He must defeat all 9 to pass the trial. Climbing higher on the pillar, he reassures himself it's not so bad. This place is perfect for leveling up to level 10. He also realizes the worms track prey through vibrations. If he can control the vibrations, he can lure only one at a time, so instead of shooting arrows and attracting all of them, he comes up with another idea. He opens his inventory and takes out a few silver coins. Small and light, they make just enough noise to draw one creature at a time. When the first coin hits the ground, a sandworm bursts up. He activates his skill, grinning that this will be a very expensive but effective way to win. From his current angle, his accuracy is lower, so he deals only 35 damage per shot. Still, for someone who once ran a billion-dollar company, spending silver isn't a problem. Explosions of arrows echo through the desert. After 4 long hours, the pillar is surrounded by worm corpses. The boy finally reaches level 10, gaining 15 new attribute points, but he pauses before spending them. Something has been bothering him. He hasn't received many rare drops. Maybe it's because his luck stat is 0. His talent boosts item rarity, so increasing luck might help. In his past life, he focused everything on strength and health, which didn't get him far. Now he decides to test his new level 10 ability. He fires an arrow at a worm's corpse, and the impact surprises him. As he adds points into luck, a purple glow rises from the monster's body. It's a sign of a legendary drop, the skill Escape Sand, which lets him roll through sand as a moving sphere. The downside, it only works in desert areas. He finds it strange that such a limited skill is legendary, but he accepts it. He also equips the silver scale armor he earned from the snake boss earlier. At this point, he's confident he's the highest level player in the world. Then the entire pillar glows, and the ground rumbles. The front splits open, revealing a hidden staircase leading downward. He knows this must be the true reward. As he approaches, he hears his sister calling his name outside the game. She tells him it's time to eat. She made his favorite fried rice. Somehow his headset's augmented reality lets her voice through. He tells her to go away before she gets hurt. The system asks if he wants to log out, but he refuses because he's too close to the goal. She complains that he's been playing for 8 hours straight without a break. Frustrated, she leaves, saying she's tired of being ignored. As she walks off, she wonders how to cheer him up. Inside the game, the boy quietly apologizes. He knows she worries, but he must keep going. He has to grow stronger and rewrite their fate. Turning back to the glowing staircase, he declares it's time to unlock his new class. A bright blue light fills his vision. When he opens his eyes, he's in another cave. The system warns him this area is extremely dangerous. He immediately recognizes it as a boss room. A massive figure rises from the sand, the gold-ranked Desert King. It has 200 attack and 6,000 health points. Shocked by the numbers, he activates weakness detection, but it fails to show any vulnerable spots. Before he can think, the boss charges. He dodges, but the impact still throws him against the wall, taking 100 damage. The hit wasn't even direct, yet it hurt that much. Now he understands why this creature is gold rank. He fires an arrow, but it only inflicts 1 damage. The boss's defense is too high. It attacks again, and this time he uses his speed to keep distance. Even then, another blow follows instantly. Unable to dodge, he leaps and grabs the monster's arm. It thrashes violently, then flings him into the air. While airborne, he sees an opening and uses his new 7-arrow rain skill. Each arrow deals 1% of the monster's maximum health and ignores defense. In one strike, he cuts the boss's health from 6,000 to 5,100. The boss counters. Even though he dodges, the shockwave alone cracks his armor. This can't go on forever. He changes tactics and begins climbing up the creature's arm toward its head. He tries to use 7-arrow rain again, but nothing happens. He's out of mana. The skill consumes too much energy. He'll need about 4 minutes to recover enough to use it again. The Desert King leaps toward the ceiling and slams down, forcing him to retreat. The impact nearly destroys the cave. Then the boss's eyes flash purple. The system announces that a weak point has been found, its abdomen. No wonder weakness detection didn't work earlier. The vulnerable spot was hidden underneath. Suddenly, the system warns that the boss is about to use its ultimate skill. The attack deals 100 damage every second and paralyzes its target for 60 seconds. The boy's heart pounds. That's practically certain death. Tornadoes spin up around him, and the wind is so intense he can barely move. One brush with that magic would be enough to drain another 100 health points instantly. He quickly realizes he cannot survive long. In a few seconds, he has already lost 400 health points and cannot counterattack while the boss clings to the ceiling. So desperate, he searches for an answer. The tornado's close in, so he risks a shot and lands 260 damage, cursing that the boss is too comfortable up there. His health keeps draining until the storm suddenly stops. It seems as if he vanished, but he actually used the sand escape skill to burrow underground. When the boss relaxes, he bursts out of the sand and shoots the exposed abdomen. The tornadoes start again, but now he has a plan. He dives under the sand once more, reappears on the far side, and fires a barrage that deals 300 damage. Realizing it cannot pin him down, the boss drops to the ground to strike, but he simply tunnels away and pops up behind it, waving in mockery. The boss attacks again. He stays calm. Now he understands why the desert movement skill is considered legendary. It costs almost no energy and has no cooldown. Then the boss speaks, calling him a fool, and he freezes for a moment. This monster can talk. After 3 hours, he is down to 720 health points. The fight has dragged on far longer than he expected, but his 7-arrow rain is ready again. The boss has 1,160 health points left, and he decides to finish it. To his surprise, the boss surrenders, exposing its abdomen and saying it is tired of this endless duel. Still cautious, he prepares his bow and ends it with 7-arrow rain. The health bar falls to 0. Because he defeated a monster many levels above him, his experience surges. He jumps 3 levels to level 13. The system says he qualifies for a class change and asks whether to proceed. After all that work, he accepts. Darkness gathers, an elven spirit appears, and his class transforms into Ghost Hunter. He gains more health, more attack power, and better attribute growth. As a Ghost Hunter, each level now grants 7 points instead of 5. He also receives 2 skills, a short summon that calls a ghost for 30 seconds, and a bear trap that deals double damage when triggered. They look simple, but they fit his style. He is eager to use his Evolve Anything talent on the new class, but the cooldown still has 5 hours left. At least his passive evolution has already upgraded the boss's loot. Investing points into luck seems to be paying off. He opens his pack and counts the rewards, 43 gold coins, which is a fortune for a beginner. He also finds a piercing bow that lowers enemy defense with each shot, stacking up to 5 times. He gets a universal glove that adds +7 agility. He obtains a golden greatsword that increases attack by 30%, which he cannot use but can sell. He also finds a healing necklace that regenerates health outside of combat. He receives 21 new attribute points and puts all of them into agility. Checking his status, he is thrilled by the progress. Before he can continue, the system interrupts. He has been in the game for 15 hours and will be forcefully logged out. He tries to argue, but the system ejects him. He wakes in the hospital pod, annoyed that a game for adults has an anti-addiction limit. Still, the rule is fair because everyone faces it. His plan is on track, and revenge on Tiankai is getting closer. He heads to his sister, who is asleep in a nearby room after watching over him. The smell of food reminds him that she cooked egg-fried rice earlier. She was raised in comfort and never had to do much for herself, so her constant support already means a lot. He takes a bite and freezes. It is terribly salty. She wakes, happy that he finally stepped away from the game. He apologizes for waking her. When she eagerly asks how the food tastes, he forces a smile and praises it, trying not to hurt her feelings. She beams and tells him to eat it all since he must be starving after playing all day. He stares at the steaming bowl like it is a threat, but he keeps eating because it makes her happy. The next morning, he wakes miserable. A nurse arrives to check on him. The doctor explains he had vomiting and diarrhea that scared everyone. The doctor privately notes that even without legs, he is handsome and wealthy, and she daydreams about a luxurious future. He says he feels fine and blames it on playing too much. With a sweet smile, she tells him he can call her for anything at all, promising she will make him feel better. He simply asks to be pushed to his gaming station. She wonders if her charm failed and whether he truly cares more about a game. He ignores her and logs back in. He opens his eyes in the virtual world. It is only the second day, yet there are already 300,000 players. He has a premium gaming rig, but the game also supports cheaper devices, which is why it will pass 100 million players in less than a month. For now, he is almost unequipped, but at least he has the new bow. His goal is to earn high-grade gear, which means hunting level 20 bosses. He enters a shop. The shopkeeper notices his silver armor, something unheard of on day 2, and asks what he wants. The boy looks over the shelves and says everything on display is bronze junk. He tells the shopkeeper he wants the store's hidden treasures. The vendor insists that everything for sale is already out front and that they do not deal in secret goods, adding that the boy could not afford such items anyway. The boy takes out crystal coins and asks for an opinion on those. The shopkeeper's attitude changes at once, his favorability soaring as he gushes that he had not realized who he was dealing with. He waves a hand, golden light flares, and a hidden cache appears. These treasures were not meant to be available for 30 days. The boy scans the items without much interest and says they are still only silver grade. Then something catches his eye, a mask. He calls the shopkeeper over and says he wants that one. The man praises his eye for quality and explains this mask is the first gold item to appear in the entire game. Because the boy brought a crystal coin, he offers it for 150,000 gold coins. The boy deposits the money and takes the mask. The shopkeeper is stunned that someone just spent what would be a wealthy person's annual income, but a privileged customer can do as he pleases. Outside, the boy remarks that spending 200,000 for such an edge is not expensive. He equips the mask and activates its effect. It raises his attributes and inflicts terror on lower-level monsters and players. People stare. A player in a hat says it must be impossible to own a gold item this early unless the boy is cheating. A square-jawed man grabs his shoulder and tells him to wait. He says the gear looks nice and suggests the boy should lend it to his friends. The boy asks what he means, and the group laughs. Then his expression hardens, and he demands to know why he should comply. The men claim the only way to get this gear so early is by hacking and threats that if he does not hand it over, they will report him and make him lose everything. A crowd gathers. One of the bullies raises his arm and shouts that they should punish this supposed cheater. The square-jawed man warns the boy to hand over the items or be killed repeatedly. The boy calmly notes that jealous people look the same everywhere. They cannot stand seeing someone a little better than them. He checks their levels and sees that none are above level 5. He challenges the 3 of them to attack together. They rush him. He triggers the mask. A spectral tiger roars to life around him, and terror crushes the 3 attackers. They collapse. One knight even coughs blood. The onlookers do not understand what just happened. The boy smirks and asks how their talk of spawn camping is going now, statting his name as Jeju Wanji and telling them they are welcome to try again anytime. Then, instead of finishing them off, he walks away as spectators open the rankings because the name sounds familiar. Of course, he sits at number 1 at level 13, while the next highest player is only level 8. Everyone is suddenly very glad they did not get involved. The square-jawed man collapses, realizing he has been humiliated by the number 1 player. There is nothing he can do except curse his bad luck for picking the wrong fight. Later, Jeju Wanji arrives at a few wooden cabins in the forest. Before he continues hunting, there is something else he needs to take care of. He finds a young girl collapsed on the ground and asks if she knows where Madame Gu went. She snaps back that she is not a little girl and that he is barely older than her. From her attitude, Jeju Wanji knows this must be the person he is looking for. He asks if she is Linger, Lady Gu's daughter. Shocked, she demands to know how he knows her name, and he calmly explains that her mother promised she would marry him in 5 years. Linger screams in confusion and runs off, shouting about how her mother could make such a deal. A moment later, Lady Gu appears. Linger cries that her mother sold her to some strange boy. Jeju Wanji greets Lady Gu cheerfully, and she is stunned that he actually passed the secret class test. He reminds her that he promised to find them once he succeeded. Lady Gu asks what he wants and warns him that if he does anything inappropriate, she will vanish immediately. Jeju Wanji is surprised to learn NPCs can disappear and realizes he may be the first player to push a quest this far. He tells her that all he wants is a map to a mid-level dungeon. Linger interrupts, saying they have nothing like that. Jeju Wanji shrugs and says that if that is the case, he will show them something valuable. He raises his hand, and when Lady Gu opens her eyes, he is holding a large crystal. He offers it as payment for the dungeon map. Both mother and daughter stare, eyes shining. His favorability increases by 50 points as Linger, nearly drooling, asks if the crystal is really for her. Before anyone can stop her, she grabs it, marveling at how beautiful it is and calling him Big Brother. Lady Gu scolds her for being too young to want such a thing, but Linger insists it must be a wedding gift for their future marriage. Jeju Wanji is bewildered by their antics and demands the dungeon map again. Lady Gu finally agrees, but warns that the map was not meant to be released for another 20 days. Still, because of his generous payment, she will make an exception, explaining that the village chief allows the map only to those who prove themselves through difficult challenges. Linger proudly says she knows where the chief lives and offers to take him there. Somewhere else, a woman lounges lazily in her home. This is the village chief, a cat-like beauty with sharp eyes and a dangerous aura. Suddenly, Linger bursts in, crashing into her lap and saying someone wants to see her. The chief, whose name is Nam Druin, sighs and asks who it is. Jeju Wanji steps forward and gets straight to the point, saying he wants the mid-level dungeon map. The chief tells him to be realistic, saying that at level 13 he has no chance and should return at level 20. Unbothered, he tosses her another crystal. Her eyes soften. She asks if he is trying to bribe her and reminds him that she is the village chief, a righteous woman who holds this position because of her honor. Then, dramatically posing, she says she will accept the crystal because he is such a good person. Linger protests, saying that if the chief is really so kind, she should return the crystal. She grabs it and throws it back to Jeju Wanji. Amused, he pockets it and again demands the map. The chief refuses, saying the dungeon is suicide for anyone below level 20 and that, for the sake of player safety, she cannot hand it over. Jeju Wanji then asks what would happen if he proves his strength. The chief, unimpressed, says they can make a deal. If he proves himself, the map is his. She explains that every year the village is attacked by wolf packs. Players defend the area, but no one has ever solved the problem because no one can defeat the White Wolf King. If he can slay that beast and bring back its item, she will give him the map. The system warns that the mission difficulty is high. Jeju Wanji accepts without hesitation and tells the chief to have the map ready. Linger grabs his hand, insisting she will go with him to help. Jeju Wanji tells her to stop fooling around and return to her mother. Linger refuses to back down, insisting that she wants to protect the village and kill the White Wolf King herself. Jeju Wanji turns to the chief, asking if she plans to stop this girl. Suddenly, the system updates the mission. He must also protect Linger. He stares in disbelief. She has just made the quest harder. She clings to him, refusing to let go. He grumbles, wondering if she is part monkey, as she throws a tantrum, kicking and whining that she hates adventuring alone. Since the mission now requires her safety, he has no choice but to agree. Later, they walk through the forest. Linger hides behind him, saying the place feels eerie. Noises come from a nearby bush. Jeju Wanji tells her to stay put while he checks. A group of adventurers is hunting wolves, cutting off their heads. Jeju Wanji approaches and asks for directions to the wolf den. The players are between level 5 and 7, and their leader refuses to answer. He claims they are hunting here and will not share the area. Confused, Jeju Wanji asks what he means. The leader shows a red snake tattoo on his arm and says they belong to the strongest guild around, the Green Snake Guild. Jeju Wanji just looks puzzled. Another player claims that even the buffalo hunting grounds belong to them, saying that if Jeju Wanji wants to hunt here, he must pay a fee or go back to killing chickens. The group notices Linger and asks if she is an NPC with a secret quest. Jeju Wanji ignores them and mocks their poor leveling speed. One of them argues that wolves are weak but safe, letting them grind endlessly. Linger hides behind him, nervous. Suddenly, she points at something behind the group. A dark aura rises from the shadows. Realizing the danger, Jeju Wanji grabs her and leaps to safety, landing on a tree branch. The players laugh at him for running away. One of them sneers that it is smart for a coward to flee. Jeju Wanji just thinks about how blind they are for missing the danger. Then a drop of liquid falls onto one of their heads. She looks up and freezes. A massive wolf looms above, jaws open. She screams, but it is too late as the beast lunges and devours her in an instant. The group turns to see only her feet remaining. The leader panics and orders everyone to run, but the wolves surround them. The huge beast vanishes, then reappears on a player's back. Chaos follows as wolves attack from every direction. The group is slaughtered one by one. The White Wolf King emerges, a level 20 boss with 4,000 health points. Jeju Wanji immediately senses how dangerous it is. He draws his bow to test its speed, but Linger suddenly stops him. She insists he cannot fight yet. The wolf sniffs the air, then dashes into the distance. Jeju Wanji jumps down with Linger, ready to chase, but she grabs his arm and explains that the boss appeared because the players killed too many wolves. If he fights now, he will die. He finds it odd but decides to trust her, knowing he needs to prepare first. She pulls out a map, revealing it is an automatic path to the wolf den. Jeju Wanji wonders why she did not show it earlier, and she laughs, saying he must be starting to enjoy her company. A system message appears about an evolution. Linger notices a shiny glove in his inventory, calls it beautiful, and asks what it is. Jeju Wanji tells her it is something amazing and that she will be impressed soon. He tries to evolve his elven bloodline, but the system rejects it. The bloodline is already at its maximum form. Slightly embarrassed, he decides to evolve his ghost skill instead. He extends his arm, activating it for the first time. A strange blue energy gathers behind him, and a large, muscular version of himself made of water forms and drops to the ground. Curious, he orders the clone to use the 7-arrow rain skill. The clone starts preparing the attack, and Jeju Wanji quickly stops it to confirm whether it truly can. Seeing that the clone can mimic his abilities, he realizes how powerful this new skill could become. Then a bold idea begins to form in his mind. He orders the clone to use the evolve skill. To his surprise, the clone actually does it, and a system notice appears. Instead of evolving the boy's normal abilities, it evolves the ghost skill itself. He stares, shocked that it worked. An NPC asks if he is cheating. He denies it and boasts that no hacker could match him. The NPC estimates his chance of victory at 20%. He decides to raise that number and evolves 7-arrow rain. The evolution lowers mana cost and increases damage, and it even changes into 8-arrow rain. The NPC updates the estimate to 34%. Because the ghost skill evolved, he can now summon an extra clone. He calls out another, then tries to evolve again, but the evolution shares a cooldown, so it fails. He realizes he evolved before summoning, which means the new clone inherited the cooldown. Next time he will spend everything first, then evolve. He tells the NPC they need a plan to push his odds higher. When she asks where they are going, he grins and leads the way underwater. A huge creature lunges at a fish, but his arrow kills it. He gets crocodile meat that boosts movement by 30% and agility by 10% for 30 seconds. He summons a ghost clone to speed up the hunt, pleased by the efficiency. After an hour, Linger eats the same meat with him, and her favorability rises because the fish quality is so high. They also gather advanced carp meat. He explains he now has 3 clones underwater, collecting as many potions as possible for the upcoming fight with the White Wolf King. Linger thinks it over and puts his success chance near 40%. He decides that is enough and says it is time to bring the monster down. They move out, unaware a suspicious clan is watching from afar. At the wolf's cave, he summons his clones and has them place death traps. With 3 clones plus himself, 4 figures are working at once. After the cooldown resets, they set even more, until the ground holds a dozen traps. Linger says he is overdoing it, and that this will not raise his odds much. He explains he only wants to limit the wolf's movement. She says his chances still are not even 50%. He smirks and tells her to watch. He hides Linger behind a tree with strict orders not to come out. Standing at the cave mouth, he calls for the boss. The White Wolf King charges out. He mutters that the beast is about to fall for the setup. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and turn on the bell for more awesome stories.